Have you ever watched someone design a beautiful space and you get so inspired and you want to do it yourself, but when you try, it just didn't turn out like the original project? It doesn't turn out the way you envisioned it. My name is Vanessa and I have been creating beautiful spaces for well over 10 years. And on this channel, I want to teach you not only how to do DIY projects, but the elements that go into them that make them work. Because let's face it, what's the point of you watching me make my home beautiful, but if you can't duplicate it yourself, if you can't take those techniques and apply them from one project to another? So I want to teach you how to do just that. And today we're going to talk about all things nursery. So I just finished putting together, alongside with my husband, our beautiful baby girl's nursery. So I want to talk about not only how I did that and show you some footage of the work, but I want to talk about how to put a great nursery together. If you're watching this, you're probably either expecting, or someone that you know and love is expecting and is in the process of putting a nursery together. So there are 3 elements that every nursery needs to have. And the number one thing is functionality. You want it to be able to function. You want it to be a space where you can do what it was created to do, right? Because what's the point of creating a beautiful space that is picture perfect, but you can't live in it? This is your home. This is a space that you're going to spend quite a lot of time either waking up in the middle of the night feeding or just spending time playing on the floor. So you want it to be functional. The second element that every nursery needs is that it has to be safe. I would like to think that this one goes without saying, but if it must be said, we never want to compromise safety for the sake of design, right? Responsible design is safe design. You want to be able to create a space not only that you can enjoy and that this with peace of mind, and that the space is safe when you're there and when you're not present, because your kid is going to get older and they're going to start exploring, and their room needs to be a safe place where they can come and play and access their items, their toys, even when you are not present in the room. So things like covering outlets, not having cords just hanging, not having things that they can reach that can fall on top of them that's heavy. Those things are absolutely necessary. So safety is absolutely necessary in the design of a nursery. And number 3, if you are enjoying this video and find this helpful, please, 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 I don't mind begging, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified on Saturdays when I upload new videos. The third thing that set a nursery apart from a designer nursery than a just old regular nursery is a whimsical element. You want to have multiple if you can, but if you can just have one whimsical element in it, something playful, something dreamy. And I'm not talking about like character stickers or some stickers on the wall. I'm talking about a functional item like a hamper or a lamp or chairs, which we have like all 3 of those items that have a very playful flair to them. I like to say that if you remove a crib from the nursery, I should still be able to tell that this is a nursery and not a big kid's room or a regular room in the house. I should be able to say that this is a nursery. Now, we want to think through our design process as the different sections that need to be in the room. Obviously, the very first one is your sleeping section. That's your crib. Think of it as this is a functional element, but this is also a design element. You want to think of the crib as the anchor for your project. So for example, our room is very transitional. So we have a crib that's a little bit more fitting to that style. But if you are going for a boho vibe or maybe a classic vibe, then you would want to pick something that matches that style. The crib is always the focal point of every nursery. So you also want to think about not just the crib itself, but what is going to be behind it. Are you going to do an accent wall? Are you going to do wallpaper? Are you going to print art? Like for us, it was a playful, whimsical wallpaper. And we also have our daughter's pictures because she is a little bit older. We already had her. So if you are pregnant or you're expecting, then that's probably not an option. But we printed her pictures because we also wanted, her beautiful pictures displayed in her room. So that's the focal point. So you want it to be emphasized as that, and that's going to be the number one element that's going to inform the other design choices that are going to be in that room. So your sleeping section, that's your crib, and that's also your focal point. Your second section that you need to think about is the feeding area. The feeding area for us, because again, our daughter is weaned, she's older, we didn't need a recliner chair, we didn't need a glider, because she doesn't feed in the room. So instead, what we ended up doing is a nice little bench, a nice little love seat for her, so she could use that area as a reading area. But the most nurseries, the reading area and the feeding area usually doubles, because that's usually where you cuddle with them, you feed them, you read them a book. So you also want to have a bookshelf or some type of element that holds a few little books and things that are easily accessible for you to grab and read and cuddle with them. Another element that you want to incorporate in that feeding/reading section is maybe a little table, a little coffee table where you can have your drink there or have something there so that you can refresh yourself. I'm a breastfeeding mama, and I know that breastfeeding, like if you're not hydrating and breastfeeding, you are in trouble. So you want to have something that you can rest your phone and your drink there. That is your feeding/reading section. Then you need to have a changing table. A changing table, I typically love the idea of putting a changing pad on top of a dresser rather than a changing table itself, just because it's an easier transition as the kid gets older. You don't have to start over or just have a changing table in their room. You can just get rid of the pad and the dresser stays. And one of the ways that you can quickly incorporate design even on a budget with that is you can just remove the hardware on it and just have, again, going back to whimsical elements, just have a hardware that matches your style and the vibe that you are going for. That is an easy fix, because even if you have your own dresser, or you don't want to purchase your own, you don't want to purchase a new dresser for your baby, and you have a dresser that either you have that you want to have in the room, or a dresser that you've thrifted or repurposed, that's an easy fix, because all you have to do is make sure you just change the hardware and it matches your entire aesthetic that you are going for. The third, and I don't want to say last thing, was that third? Am I counting right? This is the fourth item, guys. Okay, so a lot of people will say, don't buy like a shaggy rug. A shaggy rug is not, it's not the vibe. That I kind of believe in that, but not in a nursery, because again, you want everything about the space to be inviting. So a plush rug where your kid can just get on the floor and crawl, where you can just get on the floor with them and play with them, get on the floor and read with them as they get older. I find it really, really nice to have something nice and soft under your feet, nice and soft and inviting that your kid is going to want to be in there. Now, this is probably the most useful design tip that I can give you on this video. If you don't remember anything else, remember this. You don't ever want to create a space by just going and purchasing things that are pretty or things within the design aesthetic that you're going for and just putting them in a room together. Every designer knows this, and whether you're planning an event or you're designing a space, it's important to see how everything works together before you start purchasing and before you start moving forward with your design. So I understand that it could be very hard if you don't have a fancy design software where you can visualize everything and you can do a room layout. So one of the resources that I use is designwithfriends.com. It's a free website, and I'm not getting paid to say this. This is just me putting you on and adding value. I'm going to link it below. It's designwithfriends.com, and what that allows you, that website allows you to not only see what different pieces of furniture look like together in a room, but it allows you to design your room, design the actual layout of the room to mirror the room that you are designing. I'm talking the flooring, the walls, the positioning of the windows, the positioning of the doors. And that's important, because even if you were to say, okay, Vanessa, I'm gonna get everything that you have here, which, by the way, if you need to do that, I'm linking them below. All of my links are going to be in the description box. But even if you were to say, I'm going to get everything that you got in this room and I'm going to put it together. Your room is going to look different because we do not have the same layout. So check them out. Go ahead and design your space. It's a little bit more than a mood board because it allows you to move things and reposition things, and I found it super useful. So I just want to add value to you by sharing that with you. I so enjoy making this video. Please, again, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next week.